What's up guys, I'm Random Frank P. Got another custom keyboard build for you guys today. This one is unreleased. Coming up soon though. This is the KBDfans Pebble. So this is actually a prototype right now. It is an upcoming keyboard from KBDfans. So I was pumped to get my hands on to do an early build video for you guys to kind of show it off. Now besides the main keyboard itself, one of the main features here to this build are the two upcoming Mito Laseron switches. You may be familiar with Mito in the keyboard community, popular for his keycap sets, but now putting out some switches. We'll take a closer look at these in a minute. So the Pebble Chassis is true to its name, a smooth matte coated finish with round edges, and the top plate sits flush to give it a nice unified look when it's fully built. You really don't see rounded keyboard designs like this too often, but I for one think it's a really nice look, definitely stands out. Now the board did come pre-assembled with this carbon fiber plate inside, but I broke it all down to kind of rebuild it for this video. So I assume the carbon fiber is going to be the plate option when you buy this from KBDfans. Again, since it's an early prototype, I'm just assuming. Also inside the Pebble is the PCB, the DZ60 Rgb HHKB with hot swap sockets and built-in Rgb lighting. So a bit of a different layout than I'm used to, but that's because of the happy hacking PCB design. Now to go along with our switches, I wanted to find something that matched the cyan, pink, and purple colors, so I picked up GMK Tokyo Nights from Originative, setting me back $180. Keycaps. Now to be fair, they're good quality, they look nice, and they were available. And then the pièce de résistance, our cable. This bad boy came from Space Cables, and it is literally perfect. It has this nice 7-inch coil with a detachable 6-pin aviator connector, but the main thing with this again was just to have it perfectly matching our keycaps and our switches. Using a pink paracord inside with the blue TextFlex wrap, not only hits on those two main colors, but together also blend for a really nice slight purple hue, which again, is going to match our keycaps and switches to a T. I'll put a link to Space Cables down below so you can check it out. So when it came to building it, again, since it was a pre-assembled kit, I didn't want to do any real modifications to the prototype since in the end, that's not what you'd be buying if I were to mod it. So I decided for this to hold off on the real custom enthusiast stuff like adding dampening foam, clipping, lubing, all that stuff. But to note, the stabilizers that came included were actually pre-lubed from KBDfans, so that was nice to see. And yes, everyone asking, I'll also put this screwdriver link down below. So our top half of the build consists of the faceplate, carbon fiber plate, and the PCB, which then connects to the bottom half of our chassis once we screw it into place. But on the bottom of the board, you'll see a cutout there in the middle, and that's for our brass weight. This is not only going to give the board, more heft, but it's going to provide a nice accent piece underneath. This one here, as you can see, it has the waves in the brass, but they did note that the final production unit is going to have a smooth, polished look to the weight instead of the waves here. A lot of times with the weight, you'll see people have something engraved here, or just have something like a design etched into it to give it a more personal touch. Then next up is filling the board with our switches. So again, these two available options from Mito are the Laseron 67-gram linear magenta switch and the 62-gram linear cyan switch, and they're inside a purple Gateron housing. The colors were made to match Mito's GMK laser keycap set, and this gives a really unique look. You don't really see color combos like this on key switches. Taking them apart, inside both are the gold spring and leaf. The only real differences between the stem color is a 5-gram difference. So what I did when building this was have the main character keys, the cyan 62-gram switch, and the modifiers in the top row and stuff, the 67-gram. This will not only coincide with the modifiers and accents on our Tokyo Nights keycap set, but it just kind of makes more sense to have your main character keys a lighter weight. That's just more so a personal preference here, but mainly to kind of match the keycaps in a way. And that's the real last step here, adding the keycaps and plugging it all in to tie it together. Now this PCB, like I said, does have Rgb lighting, but you're not going to be able to see it too much because most of these GMK sets don't have the shine through characters. And also on these particular switches, there's not enough space for the light to shine through as it is, so Rgb is definitely not important here. But I think as a final piece, it looks really, really nice. I've never done a build in this colorway. So when I first saw the color of the switches, that made me then, look for a matching keycap set. I picked that up, reached out to Space Cables for the cable. They recommended this colorway. In the end, it just looks, I think, super nice. Kind of got that vaporwave aesthetic going on. So like I said, since it's a prototype, I didn't do any real modifications to this, and I also didn't lube these switches, which usually for linear switches I would do, but since these are unreleased, I'm not gonna lube them for a sound test because someone later on down the line might be looking to buy these switches, they hear the sound test, they think they sound like that, and that wouldn't be the case. So all stock out of the box. We'll do a sound test now of the keyboard, and then after that we'll go into my thoughts on the overall keyboard itself. So like I said earlier, the stabilizers were already lubed out of the box from KBDfans, which definitely provided a nice typing experience. As you probably heard, they weren't rattly or anything like that. And the switches themselves also felt nice for a linear switch. Out of all the ones I got 70 of each. None of them had any issues in terms of like scratchiness or resistance, so I was happy to see that. But now we can kind of get into my overall thoughts on the keyboard. I really like the matte black look. They did mention that the first run of the production of this keyboard was just going to be available in black, but then after that, for the second launch, it would be in different color options. So if you're looking to pick this up in a different color, just keep that in the back of your mind. It'll be available later on down the road. I don't have any information on pricing because again, it's a prototype. Did I mention it's a prototype? The backside of the board does have this natural built-in angle to it to elevate its backside, which I think is really nice. And we do have 4 bump-ons on the back of the keyboard to prevent it from sliding around or scratching your desktop. And as for the connector, it is USB Type-C, and it is located directly in the middle of the backside of the keyboard. Now, one thing during the building process that was kind of annoying was these back 4 screws. They sit about an inch deep into the actual keyboard chassis. So it was not easy at all to actually have a screwdriver fit inside the hole. And it's not just like a regular bit either. It's, I think, like a hexagon bit. It's not like a Phillips head or anything. So what I had to do was put the screw on the edge of the bit, just put the bit into the hole, and then get the very top of my screwdriver to just very slightly screw it in. There was about 2 millimeters I was working with here. So if you don't have, you know, like a good screwdriver, like a PC building screwdriver that's really thin, that can be flexible and stuff, it might be difficult to disassemble this. But again, I don't know if it's gonna be assembled out of the box from KBDfans, if it's a pre-assembled kit. But I figured I'd point that out because it was not easy to screw those top 4 in. Then in terms of the switches, again, I think what Mito's doing here is really awesome. In terms of quality, I had no issues whatsoever. Only thing I'll say about that is I don't really understand the 5-gram difference between the two because they're not worlds different. I could see if one switch was a linear and the other one was maybe a clicky switch, but just to have 2 linear switches only 5 grams apart in weight doesn't make too much sense to me. I get that there's a color difference and stuff or the aesthetic, but I just feel like a clicky option and a linear option would have made more sense. But that's just my 2 cents on that. Sense, you get what I'm saying. Now, just because it's a smaller keyboard also does not mean that it's cheaply made or lightweight. This thing is a tank at just over 4 pounds, which is pretty hefty for a keyboard. But again, that's also where that brass weight on the bottom comes into play. And for a keyboard this size, like I said, just unlike anything I've really built before. I've never built a keyboard with the smooth, rounded edges, nor this colorway. So I was really pumped to try something new and build this. I hope you're digging it. Again, the KBDfans Pebble keyboard, the Mito Laseron switches on the inside, GMK Tokyo Nights keycaps, and the very nice custom braided cable from Space Cable. So hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on this keyboard down below. If you liked this video, give it a big thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And last, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.